Remembering life in the 70s and early 80s is like opening an old junk drawer. You dig in hoping to find one useful thing, and instead you uncover 50 items that definitely violated a safety code. Today we're talking about the things Generation Jones pretends they don't remember, not because we're ashamed, but because admitting we lived through this stuff raises questions. Mainly, how did any of us survive? Let's begin our archaeological dig through low-budget childhood danger. Kids today have recycled, eco-friendly yellow plastic slides that reflect most of the sun's heat. But when we were kids, we had a different type of slide. You know the one. Solid metal, angled like a ski jump, positioned specifically to catch the concentrated power of the noonday sun. Every Joneser remembers climbing that ladder and thinking, so this is how I die, on a municipal slide shaped like a panini press. Seriously, sliding down one of these things was like sitting on a George Foreman grill. I think another reason these slides were so dang hot was they were a lot closer to the sun. Slides today are only about 5 feet off the ground, but the slides of our time were often 12 feet or higher. Bonus points if yours had a rust-covered surface, dents from mysterious impacts, a water-filled crater at the bottom for a landing area. These slides didn't just burn you, they branded you like cattle on summer break. Yeah, that purple ink smell, the original classroom narcotic. Teachers would hand out freshly copied worksheets, and the entire room would collectively lean in and inhale like we were evaluating a vintage wine. To this day, you could blindfold a Joneser, hold up a mimeograph sheet, and we'd identify it like a sommelier in a five-star restaurant. Yes, hints of gasoline, despair, and 8th grade social studies. The fluid that was used in mimeograph machines was a combination of methanol, isopropyl alcohol, and ethylene glycol, along with a little water. Oh, and the purple dye. These ingredients can cause slurred speech, uncoordinated movements, acting or feeling drunk, decreased level of consciousness, and worse. The perfect thing to subject students to right before making them take a test. It's really a wonder we survived the 70s with any brain cells left at all. We really enjoyed those fumes a lot more than we should admit. If you grew up in a Generation Jones household, your kitchen looked like it was sponsored by Dijon mustard. Avocado green, harvest gold, burnt orange. It was like living inside a bowl of 1970s Jell-O that someone left in direct sunlight. Every fridge buzzed like a diesel engine. Every dishwasher sounded like it had opinions. And every countertop was atomic patterned Formica. The best part was when the stove conked out and had to be replaced, but the old color wasn't available anymore. So you ended up with a harvest gold kitchen and an avocado green oven. Your kitchen looked like the Partridge Family bus. Before streaming, before cable, before remotes, there was Dad holding an aluminum antenna, trying to summon a clear picture through sheer willpower. And somehow the picture always got worse when you sat back down. Every Joneser remembers these words from Dad. Don't nobody move! I said, nobody move! Failing all else, Dad would whip out his secret weapon for clear TV reception. Aluminum foil. He'd make little flags and attach them to the tops of the rabbit ears like they were high-gain satellite dishes trying to contact Apollo 11. Of course, as kids, we were usually tasked with adjusting the antenna while Dad sat in the lazy boy, directing our every move. He was like the Stanley Kubrick of the family room. Turn a little to the left. No! Jeez Louise, my left! Good. Now hold it. Don't move. And you're like, Dad, can I sit down yet? And he'd say, It's only 5 minutes till halftime. You can sit down then. Digital TV never gave us that mild cardio workout. Turkey that squeaked, fish sticks that could deflect arrows, and sloppy joes, the most accurately named school lunch in history. But the real star? That rectangular slab of pizza, a culinary masterpiece engineered entirely out of government surplus optimism. But whatever the secret ingredients, there's not a Joneser alive who doesn't still crave the taste of that pizza. I've tried to find a close match in Publix, but the closest I can find is Elio's. It's close, but not exact. Earlier today, while researching for this video, I found a company that sells school pizza online. Gunther's has frozen pepperoni and cheese school pizza that promises a delicious blast from the past that never goes out of style. It sells 16 slices for $60, but when you read the description, it's really 8 4x6-inch slices that can be snapped in half to make 16 little slices, plus $30 for shipping, although they do order free shipping on orders of $129 or more. But still, for 8 slices of pizza, that would cost me $90. No, I'll stick to the Elio's for now. Of course, if Gunther's wants to send me a box, I'd be happy to do a video review. Seatbelts, optional. Car seats, rare. Airbags, fictional. Most Jonesers rode around standing up in the back seat, sitting on the armrest, or sliding around on the bench seat like laundry in a dryer. Or, on long family trips, you'd be laying on the shelf under the rear window, like one of those little dog statues with the head that bobs up and down, up and down. And every car had that one metal seatbelt latch designed to brand you with the temperature of a neutron star. How many Jonesers today have a permanent scar with a reverse image Chevy bow tie on their hip, like the Nazi in Indiana Jones who burned his hand? Some of us still have the imprint. It's a badge of honor that separates us from Gen X, like our smallpox vaccination scars. Let's be honest. The thermostat was Dad's sacred relic, a forbidden artifact that only he could adjust, usually by only 1 degree, and only after an hour-long sermon. Touch it, dead. Suggest touching it, still dead. Mention being cold? Congratulations, wise ass, you're grounded. Generation Jones survived everything except parental rage over a 10-cent increase in the electric bill. That's how it was done back then. You'd roll down the window, manually of course, and say, $2 regular. That's it, just $2. And you actually got some gas, maybe a quarter of a tank. Not much, but enough to drive to school, to work, and to pick up a friend before realizing everyone's car got 9 miles to the gallon. We lived through the oil embargo, the gas lines, and the worst thing imaginable, adults arguing about it nonstop. If you were there, you remember. So those are just a few of the things Generation Jones pretends they don't remember. But deep down, we absolutely do. And somehow we survived. We lived through danger, chaos, burnt thighs, and lunchroom pizza that probably still exists somewhere, completely unchanged by time. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, or trauma lane, depending on how hot your slide was, hit that like button and subscribe. And check out our merch store for Generation Jones gear and other stuff. Did I forget any unforgettable Generation Jones memories? Drop them in the comments below. And if you're not Generation Jones, don't worry, your time will come. Every generation has its secrets. Ours are just weird, slightly toxic, and painted in harvest gold.